Ladies and gentlemen, we ended up getting some new information about Wolverine gameplay release date. We're also hearing about Spider-Man 2 gameplay and its release date and everything in between. Forget the pom-pom. There's a video I want to show you. Drop a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're brand new, because this is gonna be good, man. I'm actually hyped for this,
The
man.
Wolverine game that Insomniac announced last year at Gamescom is something that just came out of the blue, surprising all of his fans. And now we got some latest information on what is currently going on with this project. Is the game currently under development? And when is the release date of Insomniac's Wolverine the game?
I would say genuinely though, by the end of 2024 or early 2025. What's your guess?
Back in April this year, Insomniac's lead animator Mike Garsh basically shared a motion capture picture of the game Wolverine, which is currently being developed, suggesting that Insomniac is currently working on the Wolverine game. Now,
yo, real quick, I want to tell you this though. I feel like that you will be mind blown. You will be like shaking once I tell you this, because this is actually crazy. This game that you're looking at right now came out back in 2009, and it was made by Activision. Can you believe it? I just cannot believe it. It still is looking that good to this day,
ever
bro.
since the first teaser that was announced back in 2021's Gamescom, we haven't really heard anything further. We haven't seen any kind of trailers, and nor has Insomniac even provided us any further information about the game so far. But now it seems like we now finally have the reason and when we can expect the game to be releasing. Now starting off, Insomniac comes out and they've now officially mentioned that Spider-Man 2 is now their official focus, and they're not going to be
GG's. And also we're hearing leaks about the PlayStation Showcase. We heard that it's going to be happening early September. It didn't. I mean, god damn, man. And we're also hearing that the showcase is likely going to be happening like mid to late September. But I mean, it's just a he said, she said kind of situation. There's more stuff for Spider-Man 2 that I will talk about during as well.
Focusing on any other game until this game comes out. Now, Insomniac has also said that the reason why they had to show a very small teaser of Wolverine is because they want to be focusing more towards Spider-Man 2, because that game is more of an importance right now, because Sony PlayStation has their money set up with Spider-Man, and of course Insomniac knows that Spider-Man is a big gem, and Sony's of course going to make a huge...
Spider-Man 2 is going to be a massive game next year. There is no way. This year it's going to be God of War. Next year they need that big budget game, and Spider-Man 2 is gonna be that game. And there's a video I want to link you at the end as well. I'll talk about it, what's happening with the gameplay and stuff like that. You need to see it, because apparently the situation here is that Spider-Man 2 gameplay has been seen by some higher ups, and they actually said that it looks amazing. Though I will actually link you that video as well, so get ready for that.
Amount of sales out of the game. So obviously they don't want to be taking away any attraction or any sort of hype away from Spider-Man games, so they want to be releasing this game first. And this is basically the reason why Insomniac showed a very small teaser of Wolverine the game, comparing it with Spider-Man, which is more of an elaborated gameplay plus a trailer as well as a teaser type of thingy, which of course shows that the game is very far ahead in terms of development cycle compared to Wolverine the game. And Insomniac has...
Realistically, I can see Wolverine coming out by the end of 2024, just like a year later. No, that's not realistic. I would say realistically 2025, but at the like minimum, right, 2024. So a year delay, a year gap, not delay, and realistically 2025 if Spider-Man 2 really comes out in 2023. If Spider-Man 2 gets delayed, do you think that Spider-Man 2 has a chance of getting delayed? I mean, anything can get delayed, let's keep a $150, but Spider-Man 2 is gonna be the massive PlayStation game for next year though, because so far there's no other game announced. We do not know if we're gonna be getting any pom-pom next year or not. Only Spider-Man 2 is confirmed, you know?
Also mentioned that they have completed the motion capture scenes for Spider-Man 2's the game, and now the game is fully in for development and it's being polished, and it's probably going to be releasing somewhere around Q1 or Q2 of 2023. So we will basically have to wait and watch
that's way too early. Nah, there's no way. Or maybe
has in store for us until then. But as far as what we know, it seems like for Wolverine the game, Insomniac has most likely not even started shooting the motion captures for this game. The reason why is because, like they said, they are focusing more towards Spider-Man. They want to deliver this game at its finest and the best versions. And since Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man Miles Morales has already set very high expectations in terms of what people want to be seeing from Insomniac games, especially since they are now the best in the industry in making.
I genuinely feel like that all the superhero games should be given to Insomniac games. Like, I really wanted the Marvel Avengers game being like that top-notch games. People like it. Some people like it. It's perfectly fine. But realistically though, if Insomniac games were working on that game, that would have been a banger. Guardian of the Galaxy received very well from Square Enix and whatnot, but you know what I mean, right?
Superhero games. So they of course know that the expectations that fans have on them is on a whole another level compared to any other developers out there, which also means that they now have the pressure of making Wolverine the best version they possibly can. So Insomniac has said that they want to make sure that Wolverine the game is on its finest and the best version as possible, so they could basically own the grounds of making the perfect superhero games. So what I personally think is that Insomniac is most likely going to be taking around 9 to 12 months after the release of Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 5.
What? 9 to 12 months? Listen, that's okay at the minimum, right? Because we're talking Wolverine. They haven't even this year. I feel like that if you have a PlayStation showcase model, we're gonna get Spider-Man 2 gameplay. I will link you that video 1 second, okay? I will link you that video. But alongside that, I think there's gonna be some sort of Wolverine tease. Probably not gameplay. Realistically, I can see Marvel's Wolverine gameplay next year. Maybe that's gonna be around E3 time or at E3 itself, or maybe that's gonna be at the PlayStation showcase around September time, but next year. But you gotta understand that it's September now, and we haven't even had a showcase yet this year, so there's that aspect to it as well. But if we get gameplay for Wolverine next year, then this game is gonna probably be at least a year or a year and a half away. So I can see this game, this is gonna be really a stretch, okay? Very hard. I can see it by the end of 2024, but still doesn't sound realistic. Realistically, I would say like 2025, maybe like Q2 2025 or by the end of 2025. So we're far away from this game though.
And the reason why is because they haven't really completed the motion capture shooting for the Wolverine game, which basically means that they have stopped the shooting. They've just put that game on pause as of now. And basically in the gaming industry, motion captures are usually done 1 or 1.5 years before the game goes on live and gets published out there for the public to play it. So now that we already know that Insomniac has already worked on the mocap for the Wolverine game and there is still some more left, this could possibly mean that after Spider-Man 2 gets released, they're most likely going to be taking somewhere around 9 to 12 months in order for this game.
I feel like 9 to 12 months, that's still way too early, but it's very likely we're gonna get Spider-Man 2 next year, right? And Wolverine, we can say 2024, by the end of 2024 or early 2025. That's very realistic. But apparently the gameplay has been seen for Spider-Man 2 by some of the higher-ups, and they say it's looking amazing. Click on this video on the screen and I will see you right there. Subscribe, hit the bell.